weight of my goals, it no longer bothers me. I've learned to wield it, to overcome, to complete, and to make history. From start to finish, from 0 to 100. Mind, body, and spirit aligned toward a single goal, to conquer every continent.
My name is Giovanni and I'll be the youngest person to complete a full Ironman on 6 different continents. I always liked to pursue challenges or just do hard things, start from zero. When I was 14, I started lifting in the gym. It took me like a year. I started liking bodybuilding and following more about it. So when I was 14, 15, I competed in my first bodybuilding show in Brazil. It was like my first challenging experience physically or in sports, and that taught me a lot. It showed me about discipline, dedication. You had to do very strict diets, training. From there, I learned that I like to do these kinds of things. Just like there's no gift to it. You just gotta train or you gotta dedicate to achieve a goal. And I think that's where the spirit started. After that, I started playing American football in Brazil. I started playing there, and my goal was already, I want to go to the NFL. I want to be a pro. I was already aiming high for the big challenges. And that's what I did for 3-4 years. I went to high school in Canada. I played there. In the end, I ended up not pursuing the sport, health reasons. And it was another time for me that I realized that if you really want something, you got to dedicate for it. You got to work hard, and there's no gift or luck. You really need to do the work. So when I stopped playing football, I started running just because I wanted to keep fit and just didn't stop training. I was also pursuing my degree. I'm a dietetics and nutrition major, so my goal is to be a dietitian and work with athletes. So I was just doing both, running, training, and also focusing on college. In Florida, I started looking on social media about other sports. A good friend of mine really liked triathlon and was showing me about this Ironman thing that was going on. A lot of people were starting triathlon in 2023. And I was like, well, I feel like I need this challenge. I need something to work towards that's really out of my scope or out of what I know how to do, like biking and swimming. I thought to myself, oh, that's a good goal. Maybe I'll train for a half Ironman or a triathlon just to learn with the process and maybe challenge myself. I think that's great for everybody to do. Trust in that process, going through the experience. You're gonna stress yourself, but at the end you realize everything that you learned. So I think that's a good thing. When I started triathlon, I started it in July 2023.
So that was your first contact with the sport?
Yeah, July 2023, I reached out to my former coach. He's a friend of mine. And I was like, yo, man, I usually just run. I used to play football, but I'm trying to get into triathlon now. Can you help me out? Yeah, he said, absolutely. The first day in the pool, it was crazy. I barely did 25 yards. I was drowning, and at that point I knew that it was gonna be hard. I was like, okay, I don't want to just train. I want to have a goal. Well, this is my philosophy. If you have a goal or a race, it makes you train for it instead of I'm just gonna run, and when I feel ready, I'm gonna sign up for it. Once you sign up for a race, unconsciously, your body's okay, we gotta be ready for it. So it makes you train harder. So I signed up for 70.3 distance triathlon in December of 2023. It's Clash Daytona, the race. And I had 4 to 5 months to get ready for it. So it was gonna be a 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike, and a half marathon. Just started swimming. I didn't have a bike, so I was training the spin bikes, the studio bikes in the gym. Well, I can just rent a bike a couple of days before the race. I don't know, but I really want to do it. I was training for it, getting better every day. Swimming is Also very humbly. Every training takes like very, very long for you to like be better, but just trust in the process and enjoying. Like that was when I started to post on Instagram as well. Like, hey guys, I used to play football. Now I'm getting into triathlon. I did the training 3 weeks before the race. My coach was selling his bike and he told me, oh, I can ship it to you from Canada. That's what we did. 3 weeks before the race, I got the bike. I was feeling good. Went to Daytona and did the race. It was like best day of my life. I was crying at the finish line, like very proud of what I did. And I knew that I wanted to keep going, like keep pursuing that feeling, that emotion of just having a challenge, working for it, seeing the outcome, and you're like, yeah, I did it and it feels good. The journey was great, so I wanted to keep doing it. In 2024, I heard about this world record thing that Canadian Conor Emily, he went for it. And he was the youngest person to do this world record. I was like, oh my God, that was insane. Like, so I heard about this and I knew that one day I wanted to be full Ironman because I did the 7.3. I was like, okay, now one day I need to do the full distance. I don't know if I'm ready or not. I did 2 more 70.3s before that.
Okay, 1 second. So they're casually that like between January and May, you did 2 more half marathons.
Yeah.
How even incredible it is that at 19 years old, the 3 half Ironmans within 6 months.
Yeah. And around May of 2024, I was talking to my parents. I was like, no, I think I'll go for this record. Like,
You're talking about a 19 years old version of you that went from December 2023, did a 7.3, and the first thing that comes to your mind, and as you hear it in a way, is Ironman world record
yeah.
of someone that had done an Ironman in every single continent in the planet. You know,
I turned 20 at the end of 2023. So
20 years old. 3 half Ironmans within 6 months. Before that, you couldn't even imagine doing 1.
Yeah.
Not even 3. And now we're talking about 4 Ironmans.
yeah, that like my motto is the body achieves what mind believes. Once I did my first 7.3, you kind of like unlock that distance. I really want a big challenge. I really want to like show it to other people, maybe that can motivate other people. Like once I send it, like there's no way back. So that's what I did. After 70.3 Gulf Coast in May, me and my coach, we did a video of like me announcing it.
I'll become the youngest person to do a full Ironman on 6 different continents, and my first race will be this summer of 2024.
So once again, tell us more about the challenge itself. Yeah, so I know you took the decision in May. You woke up one day and said, I'm gonna do an Ironman in every continent.
So it's a Guinness Book World Record. So you need to like document everything to them. It's 1 full Ironman in every continent. So I had to like see what schedule I was gonna do, which races I was gonna do, how am I gonna fund it, how I'm gonna get sponsors to help me in this journey. It was a lot. At first, maybe I didn't think through everything. I was just like so pumped to do this. But yeah, that's how it started. I just wanted to have a big journey for myself, and if that could help other people in their journeys as well, that would be amazing.
So that was, then you met your coach, and how was that interaction? You said, I'm gonna do an Ironman in every continent.
I told him that, and he was like, "Oh man, you're crazy." Much respect for what you're doing. Like, let's go for it. I'll help you in this journey, and he agreed to help me. So when I decided to do it, you gotta like make an application with Guinness Book saying that you're gonna go for it. I want to do the first race kind of as soon as possible so I can like get that done. Also, it would help me to know that I can do it because I announced that I was going to do 6. I had never done an Ironman. My first goal initially was to maybe do it all in a year, but I always wanted to like focus on my health and all that. I never wanted to do something crazy. That what example would I be setting if I got injured doing this? Like for me, that's not a good like purpose. Just do it because you got to do it and then you get injured. So I wanted to do this like also the best way possible. So I extended a little bit more to have more like recovery in between the races. But the first race I did was in July. So like 2 months after now. Ironman Vitoria-Gasteiz in Spain. I also decided to go for that day because my brother was in vacation from school. It was a good date that my mom could go with me to Spain. I didn't want to go by myself for the first one, like not have any support. I think it was really important for them to be there with me. So yeah, that was it. First Ironman. It was the hardest day of my life. I spent the whole day on the bike. The run took forever. It was a very hot day in Spain. It's like I was suffering a little bit. Like I don't know if I got dehydrated, but I was still figuring out the nutrition part of it. But yeah, on the bike, I think halfway through, or like my gears broke, so I was stuck on the lower gear. So it wasn't the heavier gear, it was the easier gear, but I couldn't pedal. Like I was pedaling very fast, and then you just lose traction because it's in the lower gear, you know? Yeah. The last 40K went by like, I don't know, it was so long because I couldn't get traction, I couldn't get speed. So I spent like, I think it was 6 hours 50 on the bike. I just knew that if I finished the bike, I could finish the race. I mean, it's not supposed to be easy. So I kind of like flipped the switch at the end of the bike. In the beginning of the run, I was like, okay, just a marathon lap. Yeah, let's go. So I finished Ironman Vitória Gasteiz, amazing. And once I finished, I was like, okay, now I can do 6. Like if I did this one, I pretty much told my mind that I can do an Ironman. I got it. So that was the moment where I got like a lot of confidence in myself. Second one, it was 3.5 months later, Ironman California in Sacramento. Same day as Kona, if I'm not mistaken. So me and my friends, we were in an Airbnb the day before the race, like watching the World Championships, getting hyped for the race.
Magical moments here for Patrick Langer. Ironman World Champion. And he is pumped.
And it went really well. Like I went 10:19 in California. It's a much faster course, but I could see that even with not that much time, I was able to improve, also be more confident in myself that I could do it. So it was way better. I suffered like way less than in the first race. When I finished, I was like, all right, second one, let's go for the next one. I don't know, like I was very happy about it. So second one, North America. I got home, I rested for a couple weeks, decided to go for the next one. My coach, Will, he was gonna do Ironman New Zealand because he was living there at the time, and I thought it'd be cool to travel, do this race with him. So that was the race I did, Ironman New Zealand.
How was the Ironman New Zealand?
Oh, it was amazing. I went, I think it was 10 hours and 30, but like better power in the bike. I did a better marathon, so I was really happy that I could keep improving in between these races, even though it's not much time to work, not much time to recover. This is the challenge that I chose to do. This is not like a performance challenge or something that I'm saying I'm gonna win these races. It's more of like a dedication journey of like challenging myself and going through the experience. My goal was always to finish in Brazil, like have the 6th continent, be in South America, and finishing like in my home country in Brazil. So after the New Zealand, to finish in May 2026, I had Africa and Asia. So the best schedule for me was to have a bigger break now. Do Ironman Malaysia, that's the next one, November 1st. So it was an 8-month gap. Now I feel like I was able to recover way better, being able to improve much more for the next race.
That was the first time in Asia? Or?
Yeah, I never been there. I'm excited. I always think I'm not ready, but that was the same thing for the other races. Like you always have that little doubt in yourself, but when it's like time to go and you're at race day, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I feel like that's why I like to do these challenges, because if I just wait to be ready or like feel confident, you're always gonna have that little doubt in your head. One thing that I like to do for myself, okay, set a goal, you're gonna do that, figure out to be ready. Of course you had the time to be ready, but once you have the date on the calendar, it's much easier for you to actually be like proactive towards that goal instead of like, oh, I know I'm not ready yet.
So you start before you're ready.
Yeah. You need to stop thinking about, okay, just the result or just then. Think about like the journey. Just push yourself a little bit more of what you think you can, and you gotta realize like, oh my God, I can do so many things. Yeah, we're going for the 4th continent now. Can't believe I'm halfway done. Like that's this fast. Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm feeling good actually. Malaysia, I think Malaysia should be the hardest race of all 6. We live in Florida, so it's hot and humid just like here. So it's a good thing that I can train in the same environment. But it's non-wetsuit swim, so it's a slower swim, mainly for me that I'm not a swimmer. You have climbs on the bike, and in the marathon, from the people that I spoke with that did the race, they're like, bro, it's just so hot and you get a break, and it's the hardest marathon. So I'm kind of excited for that to like be the hardest one. And okay, let's see how it's gonna go. And after that, it will be Africa in April. But then after Africa, April 16th, if I'm not wrong, we have Brazil in May, and that's like 6 weeks or 7 weeks. Yeah. So I'm glad it happened at the end, because my body is already more trained and it can recover better. But that's something that I'm kind of concerned about, because it's not going to be a lot of time in between these races. That's something that's going to put a little bit more challenge towards the end of this.
And that's how we're gonna help with nutrition, Nicole.
Yeah, exactly. I realize how important is sleep, mental health, because even stress, like you can get injuries or just delay your recovery if you feel stressed all the time. Nutrition is like critical. So being a nutrition student helped me because I can learn things and apply them. So it's pretty cool, like to try myself, but yeah, like make more mistakes than things that I do right. I feel like if I didn't have a strong reason to do it, I was not gonna do 6 races. I wouldn't even done the first Ironman. Everybody that does such a race like an Ironman, there's a strong motive for you to be at the start line. Everybody that I meet in Ironman Village or during the race, they're there because like there's a really strong thing that made them be there. Maybe they're racing for a family member who passed, or they beaten a disease and they're doing that to overcome it, or they just, I don't know, they were sedentary, they want to do something different, they want to challenge themselves, they would go do an Ironman. So I learned to have a lot of respect for this sport, for endurance sports, because you learn about yourself so much in the process, and I definitely recommend people to try.
And what do you see yourself after you play this goal? What is next? Will you see yourself need to meet Kona? Why? And compete in the World Championship?
Oh, that would be amazing. Like I say, now I'm focused on doing these 6 races, and when I'm done, it'll be like, okay, now I want to get good in the sport. Like actually train just for performance. I don't know if I have many other challenges to do, but I really have the goal of like actually developing the sport. I don't know. I think I'll do triathlon for as long as I can breathe.
You talked about challenge, but how about if there is a company or someone that it's open to help you go to Antarctica and compete in Antarctica?
Scene for the next chapters. A lot of people ask me, oh, after the 6th continent, there's the 7th, Antarctica, but it's completely different than other Ironmans. Like the 6 continents are 6 like actual Ironman races. There's a support group. There's like a race manual and everything. In Antarctica, like you're by yourself or like with a little crew. I don't know if maybe, but I would really, really have to like fit the switch for that, because it's insane.
And you said a lot about a stroke, so what is yours?
I'd say that's aligned with the saying that I always say is the body achieves what the mind believes. I'm just a college student. I wasn't a peak athlete when I was young. I just wanted to do something hard and like learn from it. I don't have like my family, they don't have like sports backgrounds, they're not athletes, so it's just really something that I want to challenge myself. And it started in bodybuilding, playing football, learning the game of American football that's not that famous in Brazil. Now going to triathlon, so it's always like learning new things and just trusting the development, trusting that process. And yeah, I think that everybody should try it in